Guys, welcome back to Irish Footy Vlogs. Welcome back to another preview video. This time it's the turn of Shelbourne. I believe this is the ninth, actually, Premier Division team we've covered now. Ian O'Dowd has joined us. How are you, Ian? Ian, at Talca Park.
Hey.
It's looking okay there.
Yeah, it's not too bad, isn't it?
Live from Talca Park, yeah. So Shells are obviously back in the Premier Division, Ian. Obviously, they were in the Premier Division 2019. They got relegated. They got back up brilliantly last year. What can they learn from the last time they were in the Premier Division, in your opinion?
Yeah. I suppose there is a few things. It was a difficult year, I think, for everybody. The half season and everything like that. I think because it was the first real time we got a bit of money to make a little bit of sense. Look, I'm one of the vocal people that's a fan of Ian Morris, so I won't speak ill of him. But I do think the signings were very much weighted in. He went for experienced guys, maybe unintentionally a few journeymen, which is very polar opposite to I think what Duff has kind of prepped himself for. A lot much of the younger take, but I think it's a bit more grounded. I think we need to realise that we waited so long to get promoted, and then when we finally did it in 2019, and then had the year in 2020. I think people were like, okay, now we're in the Premier, now let's push on. And I think a few people, the club included, took it for granted and kind of just took that, we were, okay, we're in the Premier, we're obviously going to stay and we're going to progress over the next 4 or 5 years. And maybe a little lack of respect for the league and for the teams around us. Because it's a bloody tough league. It's a hard grafting league. And I think there's a bit of humble pie this year. There's a lot of expectations. I think some decent signings, but if there's one thing we've learned, it's to respect the league. And on a personal basis, if you offered me 8th right now, I'd probably take it. But yeah, I think that just a bit of humble pie, I think, is the main thing we've learned from 2020.
Yeah, obviously Damien Duff has come in, and it's a high-profile appointment, isn't it?
Yeah. I suppose if I go back to kind of what I said, where I was a Morris fan personally. I would have likened him to stay, but the owner had his own views and had his own point of view, and he went with that. The Duff situation, I suppose the kid inside me is absolutely delighted. I grew up, World Cup 2002 was one of the first real kind of like, wow, football is amazing kind of moments. It was really, real impactful. And Duff obviously being a massive part of that. So the kid inside me is ecstatic that Duff is at Shells. I was in Talca yesterday and seeing him walking around with Shells gear. It's something to be excited about. The realist in me and the guy who's gone to League of Ireland games since, I don't know, what was my first game? 97, I think. You can't take this league for granted. And there's look, Duff knows his stuff, but I think there's a perception that because he's done it at the highest level, well, if he's done it at the highest level, and playing career, surely this should be a doddle. And I think that's couldn't be further from the truth. This league is a grafting league. So I'm a little bit cautious of Duff coming in, if I'm being completely honest. I'm happy. It's really helped. A lot of sponsorship deals have come from it because Duff is a big name. And that's the truth of it. And I think his name's kind of helped with bringing in certain signings. But yeah, I'm a little cautious, but the thing is, there's no such thing as an optimistic Shells fan. If there is, they're not a real Shells fan. God knows, Shells and heartbreak go hand in hand. So, but that's it. Yeah.
Yeah, well, what's interesting is season ticket sales hit a record high this season as well, which is, there's a lot of factors there. I'm sure Duff has won them as well, but it's great to see, isn't it?
It is. I think, as you said, there is some factors. I definitely think Duff will play a part in it. I also think COVID has probably played a part in it. Yeah. I think people have realization, I should get out of this house, get away from the screens, and whether that's Talca Park, whether that's Dalymount, whether it's Thomond, wherever it might be, that you go out and you follow your local GA club, soccer club, and like for a few euro. And I think that's really, because I've known quite a few people that have now picked up season tickets for Shells fans. These are people who haven't really gone to many Shells games at all, are picking up a season ticket because they are, I want to get behind it. I want to get behind a club. I want to get behind live sports. And yeah, and the league is great. You know that this league is fantastic, and just we just need more people to realize that. And thankfully, it looks like some people are waking up to that.
And obviously, they brought in quite a few signings. A. Dervin's come in, Connor Kane, Sean Boyd, Mark Coyle, Daniel Hawkins, Jack Moylan, Arnold Driscoll, Lewis Webb, which was an interesting one, a goalkeeper, Sean McSweeney, and Dan Carr, and finally, actually, Jordan McAneff. There's some good signings there, Ian. If you had to pick three out, which three would you say you're most excited about, I suppose?
Yeah, I suppose with the signings, I mean, look, they look good. I'm not going to pretend I know the ins and outs of every single one of them, but certainly there is some names there. You know, the likes of Mark Coyle, O'Driscoll, Aaron O'Driscoll. I think is really a player that I think will lead from the back. I think the likes of O'Driscoll alongside Luke Byrne. I think that's a pretty solid two centre halves that you have there. Obviously, Coyle has done fantastic up at Harps, so I think that's a fantastic one as well. So I also think like the likes of the young lad from Rovers, Dan Carr. Now I know he's been around the block a bit, but we're screaming out for a goal scorer. Now whether he's the ticket to that, I think he has the ability to be. Jury's out because he's been thrown around the place, and I think he's only back from India, I believe. Was he in India?
Yeah, he was at Welling as well at one point. Actually, I can't remember the order, but he hasn't played too many games either recently. Actually, I've noticed with him, but
yeah. So I suppose like a proven goal scorer in this league is golden. I just think there's just not enough of them on this island to go around, and so hopefully he's the right man for the job. Probably been one or two signings probably that we've let go, or one or two players that we did let go that I would have been a bit questionable about, in my own opinion. Ryan Brennan probably being one of them.
Would Yassine and Naya be one as well, maybe potentially?
Yes. Look, he's fabulous ability. He came in halfway through last season and he lit the place up. From what I heard, he was given an offer to stay with the club, and from what I heard, it was good, but just something along the lines of, I don't know, maybe him and his agent were having some less than savoury maybe ideas with certain release clause. So look, I don't know the full in details, so maybe look, I'm going on secondhand information, so don't quote me on that. But fabulous player. No surprise Ian Morris has took him with him, and he'll do a fabulous job in the first division. But if I was looking at players who I think maybe probably would have liked to keep, I think Ryan Brennan. I think he's a top player, proven goal scorer. Look, I don't know, maybe if he doesn't fit your style or whatever that might be, the reality is he is a proven goal scorer, and if he's not in your plan, maybe you're a goal down, 15 minutes to go, I'm not going to argue you throw Brennan on there. The lad knows where the goal is. So look, fabulous player. I wish him nothing the best. I hope he has an off day when he plays us. But aside from that, I wish him nothing but the best. And the likes of Shane Farrell, who's been with Shell surprisingly for a massive amount of years, got Young Player of the Year, and I think he'll certainly. I think this year now, because 2020 he was maybe a little too young for it at that stage, but I think he had a great year. In my opinion, his best year last year for Shells, and I think he's prime and ready now for the Premier.
Yeah, interesting stuff. So where are Shelbourne going to finish, Ian?
Oh God, I suppose as I said at the start, if you're 8th place right now, I'd take your hand off for it.
Where's the best they can finish in your opinion? Where can they finish highest?
Oh, realistically, 6th. If realistically, I mean, we have to look at the facts here, and that's again, people need to, temper their expectations here, because
you need building blocks, don't you?
Exactly, Rovers are most likely going to win the league. The only context competitors that they may have is Derry. You're going to have Sligo up there. They're always there or thereabouts. Bow is always again there or thereabouts. You're then looking. Then it's kind of a hot pot. You've got you've got ourselves. You've got Drogheda. You've got UCD. You've got Harps. So I personally would like to think we have enough in the tank to be ahead of UCD and maybe be ahead of Drogheda. No disrespect to them, but I just think the money that's probably been pumping in and the squad that we've probably built, I'd like to think we can edge the two of them and maybe progress on a spot or two. But look, if you offered me 8th place, I suppose I'd take that and run with it. Vanny, what would you think of it? Where do you think they can? Where you're because you're an expert at this. Where do you think they'll finish?
No comment. I have my prediction show coming out soon, so we'll save that for that.
Okay. I'll hold off. I'll hold off then.
Look, Ian, that was excellent. Thanks very much for coming on. And lads in the comments, let us know where you think Shelbourne will finish. What's their best signs? What do you make of the appointment of Damien Duff? And thanks for watching. Thanks again, Ian. Brilliant stuff.
No, what a key delight to talk to you. Look after yourself.